Early tomorrow morning, President Trump is going to be headed to Capitol Hill, where he is expected to meet with House Republicans and personally pitch them on passing what is now known in all of Washington as his one big, beautiful bill. Tonight on the Hill, we heard from House Speaker Mike Johnson, who's been meeting with moderate members of his party as he's trying to get them on board. But there are still several huge sticking points, we're told, including Republicans wrangling over changes to Medicaid, including when new work requirements should kick in. They also want to pare back the amount of money going to state-run Medicaid programs. Moderate Republicans have said that they not only oppose those changes, but several of them want a higher cap on state and local tax deductions. All of this supposed to be worked out to meet the Speaker's Memorial Day deadline. It remains to be seen whether or not it will. My source tonight is the Republican Congressman Lloyd Smucker of Pennsylvania, who has been a key player in these high-stakes negotiations and has not slept much in the last several days. I think a key question is, what does President Trump need to say to your colleagues tomorrow to get everyone on the same page?
Well, I think the president will lay out the importance of this bill. This bill delivers on the mandate that the American people gave the president, that they gave Congress in this past election. It will ensure that American people and small businesses do not receive what would be the largest increase in American history. It will help to ensure that we secure the border. We will have operational control of the border within a few months after this is passed. It ensures that those who are risking their lives for us have the best tools and equipment, and that we achieve peace through strength, and then it will unleash American energy. So I think the president will talk about all of those things, and we'll talk about the need for all of us to come together. And I think you'll see that happen, by the way. I think by Thursday of this week, we'll pass this bill. We've been working on this for months, even since about a year ago. We've been working on this bill. So you think
you will get it passed by Memorial Day?
I do. Every member of our conference wants to pass this bill. There are just a few small issues that continue to be worked out. Talks are going on right now. I'm confident these will be worked out. We're going to pass this, and we're going to deliver for the American people.
And you are supporting this bill, right?
I am, yes.
Can I ask, though, because you wrote a letter a few weeks ago saying that if it adds to the deficit, you can't support it. Right now, the estimate is still that it is going to add to the deficit. So what changed your mind? How did you get to a yes on this?
Well, let's go back to the budget resolution, which passed out of the Budget Committee. I'm the vice chair of the Budget Committee. We wanted to ensure that this is done in a fiscally responsible way, does not add to the debt. And that was different than what perhaps the Senate was talking about doing at that time. And so we passed a budget resolution that included, it tied spending savings, actually just slowing the rate of growth in spending over the next 10 years, and tied the amount of savings we could find with the instruction, with the tax cuts instructions to Ways and Means. The Senate then came back with a different resolution that didn't follow any of that, and my concern, the concern of the Budget Committee at that point was that what we ended up passing complied with the initial budget resolution.
Yeah. I mean, but the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget said it would add $3.3 trillion to the nation's debt over the next decade. Does that worry you?
I don't agree with that number. The cost of the tax cuts is $4 trillion over 10 years. We have $1.5 trillion in savings, and then we're going to make up that additional $2.5 trillion in economic growth. And the growth rate will. We had a high growth rate after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed in 2017. We're modest in the projections in this bill, and so we're confident we're going to make up that $2.5 trillion in additional revenue due to additional growth.
And for the moderates who have concerns about the changes that the hardliners are demanding to happen here, are you worried that the moderates have a point here, that you got a paper-thin majority, they say they're the reason you have that majority, and that this is going to put them in trouble?
Well, so there are a lot of different opinions throughout our conference. The American people are watching closely what we're doing. There's different opinions among the American people as well. But what I can tell you is that we all agree on the broad components of this bill. And I think if we pass this now, we will begin to see the effect on jobs. We'll see wages rise just as they did after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and the American people will support what we're doing. So I think by the time we get to the midterms, you'll see the kind of impact that we had after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which the American people love. By the way, $6,000 average increase in household wages in the average American household after the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
We'll see what this looks like, and if you get it passed by Thursday, Congressman, you seem optimistic. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Up next here, my White House insider.